All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nerds with Dice. I'm Mark. I'm your host today. Thank you for bearing with us through our technical issues. If you have noticed, we don't have captions tonight. Apologies. We tried to work it out. Not possible for this stream. So please, from the bottom of our hearts, forgive us. We are sponsored tonight by Grinding Co. Coffee, Black and LGBTQ plus coffee company. Use the link in the chat or the code Gunmetal Blues to get 10% off. So we're giving you some coffee discount for your troubles. We also have merch. You can find those links in the chat as well, or by going to at Nerds with Dice on Twitter or whatever you choose to call it these days. All right, my friends. Again, my name is Mark. I am the creator of a game we're going to play tonight called Hero Catastrophe. And so I'm going to go over the rules, introduce this story, and then we will launch into playing this role playing game. But before I do that, I want to introduce you to our players, starting with my friend Jilly. I want you to introduce us, your name, anything else you want to say about yourself quickly, so that we know the vibe of the players before we meet the characters. Jilly, take it away.
Hi, I'm Jilly, otherwise known as Oh Look It's Jilly, most places on the internet, where you can find me ruminating about words and learning sign language and editing books and doing all of the things. I am an actor, a writer, editor, and thespian of many hats, so come join me all over the internet doing things.
Doing
I
all
feel
the
like
things,
all of them.
all of them.
Who's next?
Thank you,
Go.
Jilly. I will direct this just so we don't have to, popcorn with all the silence. But I will ask you to repeat those things at the end, just so we can hear and follow you wherever you go. Let's go on to Tori. Tori, introduce yourself to us.
Hello, my name's Tori. I use they them pronouns. You can find me all over the internet as that nerd Tori. I am perpetually tired, so I keep saying I'm going to stream again on my personal channel here on Twitch, and then I don't. But you can usually
Hmm.
find me doing this type of thing, TTRPG performance game things on various different channels. And also, hopefully, in the next few months, I'll be getting back to doing some of my other hobby, which is Foley art. So maybe I'll
Mm.
make some posts and things about that. I'm also a crafter and writer and cosplayer, and part of the events team for Gehenna Gaming. So if you'll be at PAX next month, you'll see me there.
Awesome. Thank you, Tori. And again, we'll ask you to repeat all that at the end so we can follow you and follow all your cool stuff. Let's go to Jack next. Jack, tell us about yourself.
Hello, that's me. I'm Jack. I also do this on my own. I have my own Twitch and YouTube channel at RPGs Uncovered. They're channels dedicated to showing just how quick and easy it can be to learn a new TTRPG. I have a lot of fun with indie games. It's something I focus on. I've played a lot of them. I'm really excited to dive into this one. I'll save all my shilling for later, but at RPGs Uncovered everywhere.
Thank you. We'll uncover a new one in a few minutes. Thank you very
Oh yeah.
much, Jack. All right, Steve, our tall halfling here. Can you tell us a bit about yourself, Steve?
I am Steve. I'm Tall Halfling on most of the socials. Tall Halfling RPG on Threads. Um, I play mostly in one shots, charity games, occasionally short campaigns, all over YouTube and Twitch. Also do some podcast editing and video production for actual play as well. And delighted to be here.
All right. Yeah, I should talk to you after this as I'm currently editing a podcast. Holy moly. Knox, finish us off with yourself. Tell us about yourself and what you're up to.
Hi, I'm Nox. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm a human that does things on the internet.
Hmm.
I'd love to tell you more, but I'm going to be honest. I don't know what I do. I show up.
Hey, and that's 90% of it, isn't it?
It
Just like we
truly
all have.
is like, I showed up today and we're just going to go with it. So, be proud of yourself for showing up.
Yeah, Yeah, thank you. That's such wisdom to begin this game with. I will punish all of you for the wisdom you will bring to this game. No, just kidding. Again, I'm Mark. I use he, they, and she pronouns on all of the socials. I'm at Echo Located. And if you go to echolocated.com, you can get a copy of this game and also a preview of the podcast that I'm working on, aforementioned, called Humble Step. I'll also repeat that at the end. But what we're doing right now is playing a game called Hero Catastrophe. Now, this game is using the polymorph system that I licensed from Ninth Level Games, and it's designed to be very rules light, very simple. So each of the players has selected one die that they are using for the entire game, only using one die and no math, almost no math. I guess there's a little bit of counting, which hopefully all of you can do. So, if you have a D4, you're using a wand, a D6, you are using a bow, a D8, you're using a sword, or a D10, you're using an axe. And each of these represents different moves that you can use that you're good at, right? Because the numbers are more often likely to show up. The four moves in this game are Manifest for all of the magic. We have Manipulate for all the sneaking and dexterity based moves. We have Melee, of course, for our attack move. And we have Muster, which combines both mustering your own internal resources, right? Withstanding something, enduring something, as well as gathering others. So it's kind of the social move, muster, anything you're trying to influence other people. So our players have already selected their characters, and in a second we will meet them. But first, I want to read you the setup of this game. Again, Hero Catastrophe. This is what I ask everyone who plays this game to read at the beginning. All right, so here we go. Is everyone ready? My players, are you ready for this catastrophe?
Let's go.
All right, nods and let's go. Listen up, heroes. Remember, you are an epic hero party, brimming with magic weapons, buckling with treasure, songs of lore and plunder echoing through your great halls. But then you are suddenly stripped, cast into a wilderness that you cannot escape. This is hero catastrophe. You are a hero. You have a heroic silhouette, you have a weapon, and you don't have much else. You have each other, I guess. You're lost in a magical wilderness, which will not let you leave. I want to underline that. I'm not letting you leave it. So you can say whatever you want. The move's going to fail. You are stuck here. No teleportation spell is strong enough. No navigating or pleading with your gods will do. You're stuck, and everything is going to hell. Nature is erupting. Magic rends the fabric of reality whenever it damn well pleases. What do you and your party do? How long do you last? And what is your fate? So, the premise of this game is that you will be starting the game once you've made your character with a death saving throw. So, you're going to know before you start playing the game whether you live or die. And that's a secret just for you. And also means you don't know what your fellow players have. You don't know what their fate is. So the game is both trying to figure out how you fit your fate into this grand narrative, but also discovering the fate of your friends, of your fellow players. So uh, I'm going to now introduce the kind of backstory that drew our players together. But first, I want you to imagine that we are in a great castle, right? Just picture the most iconic medieval castle, the most iconic round table, wooden table with all these, tankards of ale and maps poured over everywhere. And as you burst open the doors and you come upon this team of five epic heroes with their gleaming armor and incredible weapons and, whatever their vibes is, we're going to meet them right now. You're coming into a meeting where they're about to receive their very last job. So I'm gonna do let's do it a little differently order wise here. I want to hear about your character. I want to hear their name. I want to hear their pronoun. I want to hear the vibes that you selected. When you pick your character sheet, you can pick up to three different vibes that help kind of give your character some flavor. And then tell me your heroic silhouette. So if we were to see this hero in some epic, ad campaign for Apple, I guess, we would see them in this certain silhouette. Think in D&D terms of a subclass, right? And you can share your weapon and your guild too if you want. Tori, I'm going to start with you. can you introduce us to your character?
Yes, absolutely. My character's name is Lila. She uses she, her pronouns, and she is a music mage, otherwise known as a bard with a wand. Her wand is her violin bow. She has a very intricate violin. She probably started with this adventuring party with a very normal violin, but they've been doing this a long time, and she's found a fancy magical violin.
Oh,
Uh,
love that.
she is observant, sweet, and weepy, easily emotional.
Just like violin
And
music.
exactly, and she's sort of like the emotional heart of this group, I think, or at least she thinks she
Hmm.
is. Uh, and yeah, she's looking forward to her last job, not because she's going to retire, but because she can find new friends to go on adventures with.
Great. So you're just gonna, hop to another team and get going.
Mhm.
Do you write songs about your epic adventures, or
Oh
like what do you
yes.
write about?
Oh yeah, she writes songs about all the stuff that she does with all of her friends, and then some love songs and stuff for the masses, but most of what she writes is about her adventures.
For the masses, for all the people
Mhm.
tuning in. You all are the masses tonight, my Twitch audience. Great, Tori. We look forward to hearing your last album. We look forward to hearing Lila's last album. Thank you so much. Let's go now to Steve. Can you introduce us to your character?
Sure. You said you see five heroes. You see four. The one you don't
Oh,
see lurking in the shadows. Um, his name's Zephyr. He's a rogue
mm,
with the nimble expert feat. Um, everything black, cloak, deep hood. You can just barely see, faint hint of eyes under there. Um, he's um, he's got a hand crossbow. Um,
mhm.
so rolling with a d6.
And
He's
what are his vibes that you
Yep,
picked?
he's graceful. He's charming. So he'll steal your gold and your heart. And the third one we will get to a little bit later.
Great,
I
graceful
love
and
him.
charming. I know. It's just this charming non-presence in most rooms. It's so funny to be charming and like very mysterious at the same time. I love that. All right, thank you. Zephyr and Lila. So Lila might be looking around and not seeing Zephyr, but Zephyr is in the corner looking very intently at that list of the itinerary of the adventure they're about to go on. And next to the absence that is Zephyr is our next character, Jack. Can you tell us about your character?
Yes, tonight I will be playing Layson. Layson is sort of post up on a table or some other piece of furniture, just sort of hanging out. Has a long great sword slung over one shoulder. Very typical martial adventure feel. Lots of leathers, lots of straps and buckles, pauldrons and vambraces, and various other armor strewn about.
Hmm.
He is the group's cocky spell sword. That is my heroic silhouette. Lackadaisical, unbothered, and quite playful.
All right, wonderful. So maybe not
Even
even
pronouns,
looking at
by the
the
way.
great, thank you. Maybe not even looking at the plans, right? Like you're like, whatever, it's going to be a
Yeah.
great time. You mentioned spell sword. Is the sword magical? Are you magical? Anything that we would know about the
Well,
magic?
see, throughout our travels and all of our conquest, I have poured all of my heart, soul, and experience points into my bond with this ancient weapon. We are essentially the same being.
Oh, all right. Does the weapon have a name?
You know, it probably should, but I didn't think of one.
Can I offer one? You can edit it.
Sure.
Can the sword be named Jason?
Sure. It's
Okay,
Layson and
so
Jason.
Layson and Jason. Great. Thank you so much, Jack. I appreciate your
Wait, no,
willingness
because
to
what
go
about
along.
Slayson?
That is even better. Yup. Nope. That's it. It's Slayson.
Slayson.
It has a number of
Slayson!
runes carved along the blade, and then in the hilt, in the leathers on that, I just have Slayson sort of cut in there with a dagger.
I love it so much. Okay, so we have Lila coming up of a tune very sweetly and perhaps a little tear already in your eyes. We have this very shadowy and yet charming rogue. You can barely see Zephyr. And then we have Layson chillin', having a great time with his giant magical sword Slayson with him. Fantastic. Nox, oh man, I need to send you something after this for that. Oh. But we will get to you in a sec. Jilly, I want to hear about your character standing maybe close to Layson and Jason. Slayson, you tell me.
I mean, who is to say what their collective name is? Um, I am playing Fee today. She is well. First of all, her pronouns are she, they. And the vibes I have chosen from her, for her are mercurial, questioning, and tattooed.
Mm.
Um, so what I think this is that you can see just wherever is visible up to like her neck is covered in ink,
Mm.
and it's in some of it's in recognizable like languages that you would know, and some of it is in what looks like symbols. Um, they are a well, my I chose for my overall archetype, I chose sardonic sorceress because she
Love it.
also carries a wand. Um, but it has been like bent into a choker.
Oh,
So she wears her wand around her
cool.
neck. It's like a wooden choker. Um, and I think that she just comes across to people as very like quick to understand, but like quick in movement, but also mysterious in the fact that like, wait, she moved. Does this make sense? This makes sense to me. I'm just talking now. Please someone stop me.
No, Jilly, thank you so much. Fee, I think, is influencing you a little bit, very mercurially. Fee is perhaps not exactly where you thought she was a minute ago.
Exactly. That's the vibe.
Covered in
That's
ink, like inked up from the neck down with a wooden choker that is in fact her wand. And you mentioned sardonic, so she does like to comment on the action, it sounds like.
yes. I think
Yeah.
to the point where you don't know really that she's listening until she's suddenly participating.
And then the sound doesn't exactly come from where you thought she was, which is also unnerving. So great. We don't quite
Yeah.
know where she is.
People don't know whether it's that she can teleport or she's just really irritating. That is a line
Hmm.
that a lot of, I feel like, magic users like to walk.
I know a lot of cats like that.
It's
Anyway,
real big cat vibes.
last but not least, we have Nox's character. Nox, can you tell us about your character?
Yeah, sure. My character is Naomi, the resident druid. The vibes that I picked for her are intense, nightmare, and cutesy.
Okay.
So you see this very cottage core, literally wearing like a dress with actual strawberries on them. Very like has a flower crown and like flowers through her hair.
Hmm.
With just the most like kind of face, like she's staring into your
Okay.
soul.
Like you're not quite sure if she's frozen on Twitch or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so very intense stare, but very cutesy vibe dress. Does she sort of alternate between being cutesy and scary, or is it just always scary? She just looks cutesy.
Somehow she manages to be both. Like
Okay.
she'll say something like very sweet, and you're like, "Oh, Naomi," and then she'll follow it up with something very terrifying, and you're just
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, Naomi."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Um,
why not
great.
both? You know?
Why not both? And a very intense druid with lots of
Mhm.
powers.
Yes,
And
her.
what was the weapon that you chose?
I chose a bow, so I can roll a d6. And
Right.
her heroic silhouette that I made up is natural disaster,
Uh-huh.
which honestly fits the vibes.
Yeah, it fits this game for sure. Okay. Great. All right. Thank you, Nux, very much. So, just to recap here, we have come through the doors. We are seeing this great hall with this huge central round table. I'm just going to call it that. You have attendants serving you beer, wine, whatever you want, goblets, tankards, as the plans of this great ancient temple are laid out all over the table. We have Zephyr kind of like maybe, I don't know, like in the shadow of a column nearby, just piercing eyes staring directly at the agenda, which is listed. Okay, this day we'll travel to this part, this day to this part. We have
Flirting with one of
Lila,
the servants.
yeah, starting with one of the servants, looking very, seeing if they have anything you want. Lila nearby, maybe warming up the violin a little bit, maybe doing some light, vocal exercises just to keep keep the pipes going. Layson and Slayson are sitting very casually in the chair, ready for anything. Perhaps drinking. I don't know. Do you think Layson imbibes
Oh
or
yeah,
is chill? Oh yeah.
Layson definitely has a half empty mug here. He's probably like spinning a coin or something,
Hmm.
just really focused on something really stupid.
Love it. It's like the one kind of macaque that you might find on this journey that you're like, that's a funny monkey. And then Fee, what do you think Fee is doing? Sort of like appearing and disappearing, or looking over the plans, or what do you think? Our
I
sardonic
think
sorceress.
um I think Fee is going over the plans, but the way that Fee goes over the plans is by other people going over the plans within Fee's hearing, and she'll be like,
Okay.
"Yes." Um so I think she's just listening and kind
Hmm.
of flitting around to whatever other action is happening. But you get the sense that Fee is absorbing more than she's participating in anything.
Okay, great. So a sort of distracting absorber flitting around. And then Naomi, as our natural disaster, are you paying attention to these plans at all? What do you think?
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the fact that that is exactly how I got through American Lit class. Um, I think Naomi is listening a little too intently, trying to make sure that everyone else has the plan and knows it, because if
Hmm.
they don't, she's gonna have a problem with it. She's just
And
making
there's
sure, like,
just
you all understand. You all understand the plan, right? Right?
great. And there's like rumbling of thunder in the distance. Great. Okay, so the five of you have been discussing or not discussing, chatting or drinking, absorbing or not absorbing the plans. As one of the king's top servants is going over all of this with you, and then all of a sudden the doors open again, and Mason walks in. Now you all know Mason. Mason is the son of the king. Okay, and he has been studying sorcery very intently. I don't know if what you think about his sorcery skills, but he's holding a little cat familiar with him, a little like probably like black cat. Does that sound right, Steve? A little black cat.
Yeah. Zephyr starts uncontrollably sneezing.
Okay, just as soon as the cat is within vicinity, and actually that starts a chain reaction where Mason also sneezes, and the king's servant mentions to you, oh, by the way, Mason is coming along for the ride. Okay, so, as the five of you are traveling to this ancient ruins, you are taking your time. Maybe there's a couple of skirmishes, but it's like no, it's no trouble for you. Okay, excellent magical skills, swordsmanship, just the right hand crossbow bolt at the right moments. There's no problem, right? You get all the way in to this temple and descend down into its deepest depths, and we can imagine, insert epic story here, like go see, D&D Honor Amongst Thieves or whatever, and like that's what happens, right? So we're now at the very bottom of this dungeon. You're covered in grime and sweat. You're bloody. Some trap, caught one of your legs. You're limping a little bit. You're just completely messed up. But this is par for the course for you, right? And somehow, following you through it all has been Mason with this little cat. Just kind of like, casting some little spells to kind of like clean you up and try to be helpful, but it's just kind of in the way. And you come across this ancient, um, I don't know, does anyone have an idea what this ancient object would be that would perhaps have some association with time or space? Anyone have any thoughts?
It's a ruler.
It's a ruler. Okay. Definitely space related. I like that.
It's a
I'm,
space
I'm gonna say
ruler.
it's blue because
It's a blue
blue things
police
time
box.
travel. Yeah, no, my brain before Julie started speaking, I was like, it's a blue box.
It's a blue box.
But now it gets to be a blue ruler.
Well, maybe
One of
so.
those
I
old
mean,
slide rulers.
yeah, okay. So it's a slide ruler. It's up on its top, so it does have this distinct kind of, with the different measurements. It does have the slatting. So some people could misinterpret it as perhaps a TARDIS-esque thing. It is strangely glowing blue.
Very
And
strange ruler. It gives you a different reading every time because it's, larger on the inside.
yeah, very much larger on the inside for some reason. And any
It
yeah.
it doesn't have the one function a ruler is supposed to have.
Well, you're not really sure, right? Like there's ancient symbols on it. This is, nothing in your papers, your notes, your contract said anything about it. Jilly, you're muted. Do you want to say anything?
It is said that one of the aliens one of our forefathers threw it down from the sky because it didn't know how to measure things properly, and that's how it ended here.
Makes sense to me. Yeah.
We
Of
have an
course.
origin story.
The ruler of perpetual disappointment.
Gosh, that just sounds like me. So Fee is thinking about the symbols, and all of a sudden, the one thing you were told not to do is touch this ancient ruler. Um, but Mason starts to
I,
sneeze again. Okay.
I feel like Lila's starting up a song on the violin that you guys would by this point recognize as the levitation song.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of an annoying little jingle.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and she's getting ready to like levitate it off of the thing and put it into a bag
For
when
some
this occurs.
for some reason, the song "Happy" is kind of in my head. It's just like
Sure,
a very upbeat as this
annoying jingle.
as this stone begins to move, this giant ruler, slide ruler, glowing blue, being very inept at whatever it does, is slowly beginning to lift. Mason starts sneezing and sneezing and sneezing to the point where Mason kind of like launches themselves forward. And as they do, they hit their head right in the center of the ruler. And as that happens, as the cat is going flying, uh, there's a flash of blue lights, and all of you suddenly are not at the bottom of a temple anymore. You are free falling down in the air, let's say 300 feet up, and you are falling down towards the ground. And as you do that, I'd like for you to make your first roll of the game, which is your death saving throw. So you have your one die. You're going to roll it. Don't tell me what it is. Don't tell anyone else what it is, right? This is it. No pressure. It just has to be a really good roll. But here's the deal. If you get a number that is on the top half of your die, so if it's a D4, it's a 3 or a 4, a D6, a 4, 5, 6, et cetera, et cetera. You can message me if you don't know, right? Through our back channels. You're going to roll it. If you get above the middle, then you are fated to survive in this story. Now, remember, it doesn't mean you're going to leave, right? You're stuck here, but you will survive. So you interpret that, what that means, and how you can weave your fate into the story. If you get the lower half of those numbers, the 1 or the 2 on the D4, the 1, 2, 3 on the D6, then you're fated to die. Now, if death for you is not a great topic right now, if you lost someone recently, this game is kind of about death and kind of rehearsing what it would feel like to be doomed. So, you're going to play with that at your comfort level. And obviously, you can always use an X card or something to let me know if you want to move away from something that's happening. But you can decide that instead of actual literal death, that your character is just irrevocably transformed in some way. Okay. That means you're not going to have the same vibes that you had before, not even the same guild or the heroic silhouette. Your silhouette has changed. Okay. So is that all clear? Everyone get the kind of two fate options? Um, great. So how about you roll and we'll just stare at your faces and see if we can
I
figure out what
I
happened.
can't believe I have to play the whole game with a D4.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
god,
Don't
here we
tell us.
go.
Don't tell us. Don't tell us.
I'm
Just
scared.
make a note. Don't forget. It's very important.
Okay. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Poker
Okay.
face.
Uh-huh. Okay. We definitely do not know what that means, Tori.
No,
All
yeah,
good.
it could be really
No
great.
idea.
Tori, poker face.
I have no poker face. Absolutely none.
Suddenly, as you're falling, the song that Lila's been playing turns into Poker Face
Yeah.
for some reason. It just happens. Great. So does
Which
everyone
means we have
know
to
their
stipulate
fate?
that despite his sinuses, Zephyr made a lunge to catch the flying cat because flying cats don't end well.
Uh-huh.
I
Okay.
hope we
So
bring the cat with us.
are you holding on to the cat while you're falling? Like what does it look like?
Um, he saw the cat starting to fly backwards. He lunged to catch it. I think 300 feet in the air. He's a little bit discombobulated at the moment.
Mm-hmm. And probably the cat is like scratching you up like nobody's business. Just like, what the frick are you doing? Very
You were
funny.
not authorized to touch me, human.
Yes, exactly. Um, I also just again like Zephyr, like steely-eyed in the shadows, saving the cat. Oh, so sweet. So as you're all plummeting and you have a weird sensation of maybe your fate, I want each of you now to roll your die. Again, it's just once, and just tell me what you get. We'll do it one at a time, starting with Jack.
Okay.
Roll it
You
again. Tell me
just
what
want
you
a
get.
straight die roll.
Yeah, straight die roll.
3 on an 8.
So a 3. Great.
3
I
on a
just
D8.
need
Yeah.
Yeah, I just need the number. Jilly, a 4. Okay. Steve,
Also, also a 4.
okay. And Knox,
Also a 4.
okay. And last one, Tori.
I got a 1 and I'm sending that die to jail.
Yeah, that die is gonna die. Okay. So as you're falling, you start to see the land that you're falling towards. Overhead, you can see this really thick fog, right? So it's actually a little difficult to see exactly what you're falling towards. But you do see off to the side is this rocky coastline and this very wine dark sea because it is night as you are falling down through the air. What is directly underneath you is those ancient ruins. Weirdly enough, they are also here, or at least they look the same as the ones before. And then, sort of between the coastline and the ruins, and kind of threaded in the ruins because they're dilapidated, is this forest, thick, knotted thorns and vines. Um, kind of has a bit of an evergreen quality to it, but again, there's like vines and other strange foliage that shouldn't be there. So as you are falling, um, the following things are going to happen, and this is when we start to have to deal with these things. Frightened beings attack. Okay, so we have some frightened beings to deal with. The wild lashes out in 3 different ways. We get to decide what that means. And then death appears. What happens? Interpret that as you wish. Okay. So let's deal with the frightened beings first. What do we think is attacking as y'all are falling from the sky? Any
The
thoughts?
cat.
I mean,
I was gonna say the cat.
the cat certainly. I was thinking
That
if it's
might-
other stuff that's been brought through with us, because stuff that is like inconsequential when it's on the ground is then very consequential when descending upon you from above.
Okay. All right. Here's the thought. See if you like this. Let's say that in this room, this civilization that worshipped this ruler also worshipped cats. So there were a bunch of statues of cats that have fallen down through and transported with you. And these statues are beginning to move and animate and hiss and yowl in a very similar way to the cat, to Mason's cat. Now, Jack, roll me that d8 again.
6.
Okay, great. So you have collectively, as a group, 6 moves, 6 times to roll the die. Before these statues of cats will give each of you 6 harm. Now, in this game, harm, you can do up to the number of sides of your die. So for Lila, that would mean the end of Lila. Now, in this game, if you're fated to survive, then you have to figure out why you still cling to life. If you're fated to die, you're still a storyteller. You can decide when that happens, but you can use this as information and story prompts for why you're really beyond what you can handle. Okay. So the threat that's coming to you is 6 harm from these plummeting to the ground rock cat like panther creatures. Okay. As that's happening, the wild is lashing out in 3 different ways. So the environment itself is also whipping up into a frenzy. So what do we think is happening? Storm, more debris falling, as Jilly suggested, like the statue. What else? What do we think could be happening here?
I don't know why. I just really want there to be a moose involved.
A moose?
Yes.
We're in the sky.
So there's sort of
Sky
like a
moose are the worst kind of moose. What are you
They
talking
can
about?
swim. If a moose can swim,
Okay, so
I
we're-
argue that we
that
should
a
have
moose
a
can fly.
you give a moose a cookie.
Okay.
Dreaded
We
drop
got
moose.
we got Slayson from Nox, and now we got Flying Moose from Nox. I love it. This is going great. So let's say this: there's a tornado, of course, that is whipping up as y'all are falling. You're getting whipped around with the statues, with the cats, the panther, and somehow suddenly it's sort of like "Oh brother, where art thou?" moment. There's like a sky moose flying by that gets whipped up. And the antlers of the sky moose, the debris, and just the wind knocking around is going to deal you 3 harm. So that's 2 different elements: the tornado and the sky moose. What's a third thing we could add to that for
Wait,
fun?
we all just take 3 harm to begin with?
Mhm.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
We'll defend against that.
So in this game, y'all have chosen guilds that give you a certain number of luck points. You can either spend a luck point to turn a failure into a success, or you can spend it to heal yourself. And then you just describe to me how that goes. Okay. And then you have moves that give you the option to earn luck or spend luck in a unique way. Right. Again, you don't die until you want to die. This isn't like D&D or a video game where once you have 0 harm, you're done. Like you decide. But this represents the story, which is it's a catastrophe, y'all. Bad stuff is happening. This is the beginning. Just wait.
How many
But-
of us only have 4 harm that we can take? Because me.
Mm-hmm. So you got 3 already. But I want to know, apart from the whirlwind, tornado, and the sky moose, what's the third element that is hurting you? I just think it's fun to have something for each.
Can there be like hail? It's just also hailing.
Yeah, sure. Why not? So you're getting pelted by rocky ice hail as you're being whipped around. These cats are now, some of them are like kind of clawing at your back. These rock animated cats. And then the sky moose, of course, is just kind of chilling and like just knocks into you accidentally as you're falling around. And as you're descending into the ground and all this hail is dropping on you, death appears. What happens? Interpret as you will. Any thoughts on what death could be? It can be metaphysical, it can be literal, a symbol, a vision, a vibe. What do we think?
I mean, if the cats hurt us, it's gonna kill me. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Just
we're not
really-
interacting with any of these events. They're just happening to us.
You will be interacting with them in a second, right? But we have to establish the initial problems and then you'll start to deal with them. So you're plummeting down. I'm going to let you land, and then we start doing moves. But this represents the starting issue. They are animated statue cats. You only have 6 moves to deal with those before they hurt all of you very much. You have the storm that is whipped around that has already hurt you a bunch, hail, and then this vision of death, which again could be literal or not. So maybe it is a cat god that kind of like in the storm is just, or something like that. What do we think?
The cat god cometh.
The cat god cometh.
But I also want the cat god to be holding a scythe like the Grim Reaper.
Okay, cool. All
I
right, so
love
we're
it.
going literal cat death with a black hood and a scythe, and just as you are landing, is standing there, kind of licking their paw, and goes, "I'll see you soon, my pretties," and disappears in a shroud of hail and wind.
Bye.
Two things first, if you
Please.
can. So number one, if we all took 3 points of damage, do I need to spend a point of my luck to save the cat from? I'm assuming it does not have 3 hit points.
I'm going to say, so again, it's abstract here. It's not hit points. It's just kind of giving you a sense of your character's hardiness, and ultimately you can do what you want. But I'll say that you protecting the cat. I mean, I like that you're really kind of bonding with this cat. This cat doesn't like you. It's probably representing some of the harm you're taking, but you are protecting the cat. And I'm
Okay.
going to say, as you're landing, you're kind of knocking around in bushes. It's kind of like one big branch break after another. So you aren't going to like plummet and splat on the ground, but you are also bouncing around with animated statues of cats, the vision of death saying that they'll see you soon, and of course, hail and wind as you're getting to the ground. These cats are now starting to, well, of course, they all land on their feet, first of all, unlike the rest of you. And then they are starting to, very upset, go towards you to attack. What are each of you going to do to deal with this problem?
Well, I am going to set things on fire.
Sure,
So I feel like that is the solution to our problems. Um,
sure,
statue cats, I want to start to melt. I don't imagine I'll be able to do them all, but I would like to try. And
sure.
then the
Yeah.
hail is ice. Here's my logic. What hates ice? Fire. They hate each other. Set it on fire.
I mean, just set everything on fire. It seems to be like the best plan ever. So you're gonna
You know,
set a
YOLO wasn't a vibe, but I think we're there already.
already, yeah, and you're in a forest, so why not set it on fire? Okay,
No,
so
no,
you
no. You misunderstand me. It's gonna be fire raining down from above because oh no, I guess I'm on the
You're
ground now.
setting
I thought
fire
it
to
was
the rain.
Yes.
well, I was imagining you kind of spreading out, but you could be like columns of fire coming
I
down. I think that's
imagine
cool.
yeah, I imagine it's like a single column because also
Uh-huh.
remember, it's not exploding the hail anywhere anyway, so it's surrounded by a ring of rain. So it's fine.
Great.
I'll do it.
Great. So you're going to summon this column of fire down, try to take out as many of these statue cats as possible. I'm going to say this is a melee move. So you want to
Sure.
roll your die, and what you are trying to get for melee
Um
is
y-
a 4, 5, 6, or 7.
okay. Well, I can't get any of those except for one, and
For a
I didn't
4.
get that. So that I'm using a D4. So that was a
Uh-huh.
3, which was good,
Yes,
but
great.
not good enough.
Now, Jilly, do you think that you would have some luck to help you
Yeah,
out
I
here? Do you
think
have
I'm
any
gonna
luck you
spend
want to
luck
spend?
on that.
Great.
I do also have a chaotic arcanist thing. I'm just living my feet, okay?
Yeah. So your feet, unfortunately, only apply when you get a 1, but when you get a 1, you get a
Yes.
luck point.
So I'm
So,
on standby. I just
right.
got very excited because I remembered I could do a thing. Um,
I'm going to
yeah.
say
So
because of that 3, to honor it, that 3 of these cat statues are gone. Okay. So you immediately take out half. So what does it look like as you fire melt these 3 cats?
I think it probably looks a bit precarious from everybody else's point of view. Like it really
Mm-hmm.
looks like Fee has just pulled a column of fire down onto them. Um, but at like kind of the last minute, it kind of arcs to where it's supposed to be, to the point where you're like, did she know that it was gonna Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so everybody probably sincerely thought for a moment that they were gonna be singed,
Great.
but it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, and these cats just kind of like melt into magma and drop onto the ground and are steaming as the hail is still falling down around everybody else.
You know what's
They're
really great for forests? Magma.
Yeah, great for forests, great kindling. As that's happening, we'll deal with that in a sec. We have three other cats and five more moves. Who else wants to deal with this problem
I would
or
like
any other
to
problems?
I would like to play the cats a magically soothing lullaby.
Oh, okay. Can you tell me, are you trying to socially influence them, to attack them, or to kind of turn them into something else? So
I
manifest, melee, or muster.
I would like to magically influence them, like manifest sleep upon them.
Okay. All right. I can see an argument for that. So not like here kitty kitty animal handling, like the song is magically inspiring this the
Yes.
sweetest state of slumber in these cats. Okay, casting sleep.
Yes, like the
Uh
D&D sleep spell.
roll me a manifest.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Hey, that's a
That's a 3.
3.
That is a success. Great job. And I will say, at least another 2 of these cats just start to stumble and wobble and start to fall asleep. Um, Zephyr, what do you think is happening with the cat as this song begins to be uh, beautifully played from the violin of Lila?
Um, well, if it's anything like the cats I have lived with in our world, it thinks that it is singing along. Zephyr thinks it is howling in pain. Who's to say? Or maybe that's just Steve's musical ability. Um,
Yeah,
Trying to think what Zephyr can do in this moment. Um, Dexterity is very much his thing.
yeah.
Nibble expert feet and everything. Um,
Do you think?
so I'd like to say that that means he's really good at spatial awareness.
Yeah.
Um, and you tell me whether this is allowed. But I'd love to take Lila's hand and pull her out of the way as the moose lands on the dozing cat catchers.
Yes, I love that. Great to bring the
This
moose
is
back.
very good.
This is very good because Lila's not doing well, as we know. Great. So roll me manipulate to see if you can do it quickly enough as you're cradling this yelling and falling asleep cat.
That is a 6 on a 6.
All right, so you have done a critical success. That means you can double the impact, the range, or put your stank on it. So, like, what awesome thing happens as you are saving Lila from being crushed by this giant sky moose?
Well, my hope had been that the sky moose can take out the remaining stone cats.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
I'm also kind of figuring that falling from that kind of a height would probably mess up the moose as well. So maybe we've
hmm
solved two problems.
Let's say this. You can see with your piercing eyes as you're, cradling this cat that this sky moose is dropping at a certain angle. This cat, the sort of last that's not asleep, is about to leap at Lila. As these two lines are converging, you make a quick calculation, and in slow-mo, you're grabbing Lila's arm as the violin goes, you are pulling Lila successfully out of the way as the sky moose falls on the cat, and both appear to be um, not moving after that. Uh, During all of this, this isn't really fun, Layson. So, how are you doing as all of this is unfolding?
Uh, yeah, Layson was falling. He was eyeing that sky moose, wondering if he could ride it on the way down or something. But he
We
took
we
too
can
long and
say
slammed on the ground. Oh well.
I was gonna say
Uh,
we can say there's more than one if you want. I didn't want to ruin your idea.
well, if the moose is dealt with, all the cat statues are dealt with.
Yeah,
Doesn't
yeah. I
really be
mean,
a problem.
there's still
Uh,
hail, there's still wind. You're still in the harsh elements. You do need to deal with that as a group. You have landed in the forest. The ruins are up and to the left, like up on a cliff, and then down below is the rocky coastline with this dark sea. So that is what you see as you've landed and picked yourself up and dusted yourself off and stared longingly at the not moving sky moose. What do you think
okay.
Lacey wants to do?
Um, so what am I interacting with? It seems like the problems are either static or solved.
So, when you don't know what to do, I have in the character sheet some options for you. It is something you can always do. You can explore the surrounding area, you can build a shelter, you can gather resources, you can track beings, like to hunt them, you can marvel at beauty, or you can tell a story. So, each of them has a different option, and you tell me what you think Layson would do. Because there still is a big problem. This is a world you do not know, and you just landed there. So everyone's picking themselves up. You just saw uh, Zephyr do this insane, awesome move, getting Lila out of the way. Um, of course, Fee is just setting everything on fire, maybe even cackling maniacally, and we have no idea what Naomi is doing, even though she probably feels right at home in this natural disaster. So, what about you? What about Lisa?
Yeah, I think Layson doesn't really seem all that concerned about falling from the sky for a
Mhm.
little bit. Hits a few branches, realizes it's a bigger problem than he originally intended. I think he
Mhm.
just sort of spins with his sword, points it downward, and as the sword slams into the ground, there's this sort of like Romulan cloaking device effect. As he doesn't hit the ground, he dematerializes for a second, and he rematerializes, holding onto the hilt of the sword and just pulls it out of the ground. I think he's just going to look around,
Ooh.
see that the problem is largely taken care of.
Mhm.
Unless we're high enough level that I can solve a storm with my sword, I think he's just going to wander out to the edge of these trees and survey the area.
Great. I'm gonna have you do 2 rolls because I wanna see what happens when you use magic. Alright, so we'll do a manifest roll for that cool, sick move to land, and then you'll do a manipulate to survey the area.
That is a 6 on my manipulate.
Great. So you're gonna have a critical success in terms of surveying the area. I'll give you some intel. But what about your manifest?
Uh, sorry, I spoke incorrectly. I meant that for my.
Oh,
Well, we'll keep it on the manipulate. That's what I said. That is a 4 on my manifest.
great. So both succeed. So you're able to do, as you described, awesome teleportation move. And then Layson, you or Slayson, or both of you, just like have this deep, sudden ability to connect with the entire environment around you. What do you think Layson would be interested in, like noticing or knowing about? Like, what does Layson care about as a character? Do you think?
Lason's just here for a good time. Maybe if he can see any big commotion going on somewhere, something to run headlong into.
Hmm. All right. I'm gonna give you this. There's a whiff on the air, a smell, perhaps. Um, it's very familiar. What is Layson's favorite form of beverage?
Um, hmm. Well, I think for a bit our group was traveling up in the mountains, and there was a tribe of people up there who created this very interesting this sort of interesting local alcohol that of course used whatever was around in the area, but also seemed to draw a lot of flavor out of a very particular type of gemstone. I'm
Hmm.
sure there was some magic involved. I think Fee tried to explain how a stone was producing flavorful beverage, and I wasn't
Right.
really concerned. I was like 3 mugs in at that point.
Right.
I think that's what he's smelling.
So the smell of like cave mildew, suddenly you just get a slight whiff of the sort of, you know, acrid smell of iron jam. I don't really know what gems smell like, but that's what I'm imagining. Um, I was thinking you were gonna say like yak milk or something, because you're like you said the group was like up in the mountains. It's all good. Gem smell. And as you smell that, you also hear just faintly um, the the certain kind of mating call of the sky moose. And it's coming in the same direction as the smell of your favorite beverage up in the ancient ruins. It's almost like there's a keep in there with a large supply of your favorite beverage, likely in, wooden barrels, but that's also where the moose are. That's what you get with your crit on manipulate. While you think about what you want to do, Naomi, there's been a storm, there's been some rock cats, there's been fire, there's been a song which kind of puts some cats to sleep. Apparently, you can smell some alcohol on the breeze. But what are you doing? What are you interested in this catastrophic world that you've landed in?
Um, I think Naomi's just like, taking the hail. Kind of like when you're used to, like when you work like when you're around kids a lot, so you get used to
Mm.
stepping on Legos.
Hmm.
So it kind of just it's like okay, whatever. Where you kind of forget that, oh, when you're not used to this kind of sucks. She has one
Uh-huh.
of those moments that's like, oh, the hail's probably not that good for everyone else.
Ow, ow,
Okay.
ow.
And I think she's going to build a shelter.
Hmm. Okay. What does the shelter look like? What's it made of?
I think her way of building a shelter is literally just let's stop the hail, and everything else. So go with me on this. Since I said she's natural disaster, I was uh can she make a hurricane them in the eye of a hurricane?
Absolutely, yeah. So you're thinking through magic, you're sort of
Hmm.
manipulating the wind and creating this kind of like eye of hurricane. All the hail will have to kind of circulate around
Hmm.
around this ancient ruins and the forest. So like y'all will be protected.
Yeah.
Great. Roll me manifest.
Okay. Manifest. Let's go. It's gonna work out perfectly.
It's gonna go great.
It's gonna go great. It's gonna go great. That was a three.
Okay, another success. Congratulations. You are able to still the storm. So now, truly, Layson, all of the problems have been solved except for those moose. Um, Perhaps horny, perhaps not, off in the distance, close to your favorite beverage. What are you or anyone else going to do? I'd say you all notice that Layson is picking up something.
Are the moose in the hurricane in the part that's not the eye?
No, the eye is big enough that it encapsulates the moose. It encapsulates the ruins that are in front of you.
Okay.
What do we think?
Well, this is new.
Yep.
Roll
Yeah,
call.
this has
Who's
to
not
be one
dead?
of. Well, I am very nearly, but not quite. And this is definitely going to go down as one of our more eventful adventures. Appropriate for the last one.
Okay. So Lila said that. Layson, what are you saying?
Well, weren't we over there before? It didn't look like this, but that looks like where we were.
Mm.
I'd say we head there.
So maybe it eerily looks similar to the ruins that you just were at. Interesting. What do the others think
I
about this?
believe that's what you prompted before.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm just saying that they've realized that now that you've said that. What is?
I would
Yeah,
like to be anywhere that isn't here. So, sure.
great. What does Zephyr do?
I think I may have missed something. Did we deal with the cat death?
So all the rock cats are gone. They were melted. They fell asleep. So they're, I guess, snoring. They're not, but they're neutralized. And the last one got crushed by one of the sky moose that you pulled Lila out just at the right amount of time. So yeah, they've been dealt with.
Yeah, the formerly stone cats we dealt with. I thought the third catastrophe was essentially a feline grim reaper that we,
Death the cat.
So
or did I
this
miss?
this cat appeared, this death cat appeared and said essentially, "I'll see you later, my pretties," and then I narrated that it disappeared.
Okay,
So all that the catastrophe says is death appears. There isn't
okay,
necessarily anything to do unless you're saying like a dragon attacks you or whatever. You know what I'm
okay.
saying?
Yep.
Yeah. But so Zephyr, you've heard this is very similar to the ancient ruins you were just at. Layson is pointed that out. What do you think Zephyr would want to do? And this sleeping cat that you have. By the way, Mason is nowhere to be found. You don't know where the boss's son is.
Yeah, this tracks.
It's kind of his fault.
Um. Okay. So, are there are there trees around? Are there um? So I'm gonna scramble up one of them, see if I can get a better view from someplace up high.
Nice. Yeah. So you're in the forest. You're in this eye of this hurricane now. So the air is calm. There's no hail. So you can get a pretty good vantage view. Roll me manipulate as you climb up.
Sick.
I'm sorry. What was that? A six?
No, that was a. Hold on a second. Dropped a die on the floor.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's a one.
All right.
That's
Okay.
what I get for saying that we still had a catastrophe to deal with.
Yeah, you manifested it, ironically, or manipulated it into existence. Okay. So again, in this game, ones you can't change. Last move where you crit on your manipulate, you got another luck point. So just make sure you added one luck point to your resources.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, you can't use that on this one. So could you now for me, Steve, roll twice on
Rolled
the
still
chaos?
the same die.
Yeah, with your die. Yep.
Okay, that's a one and a six.
So
So total seven.
so Zephyr is thinking, where did that cat go? And suddenly, this cat god is looming over you, about now 16 feet tall. So is above you even as you're climbing up this tree, and is hissing at you. And the actual living cat in your grass that's been asleep has woken up and is like staring up at this giant looming cat god with this big scythe, yowling in your face. So you have that to deal with. And then the other one that you rolled, the six, is someone gets lost. Who do you think that is? I have an idea, but what do you think, Steve?
Okay, so Zephyr may be a scoundrel, but he's also a hero at heart.
Mm-hmm.
Sees this enormous cat god. He's trying to the put Mason's cat behind him. Stand between them, be the hero. Um, I'm not sure what the cat god does about that, but I have a suspicion that might have something to do with one or the other of us being lost.
So you're talking like a metaphysical lost, perhaps, or do you mean that you're getting scared away?
Well, far be it from me to tell a cat what to do, much less a cat god what to do. But um,
Yeah, so the Mason's cat fucks off. Mason's cat is like, fuck this, and just like leaps from the branch out of your hands. And the cat god, big fangs in your face. This thing is translucent. All of you see this happening. What do the other of you do? This cat god that said I'll see you later is now right in our friend Zephyr's face as this cat runs away. By the way, roll me your die again, Steve.
Making a new friend up there, Zephyr.
Lila's taking notes.
What was that roll? What was that? A 4. Okay. So everyone, we have 4 moves. The next 4 moves are at disadvantage unless you find the cat. And disadvantage in this game is you roll twice, take the lower number, which tends to be less successful. Okay. So Layson, you've called up. Guess you're making a new friend. This cat turns from Zephyr, still up in the tree, snarls at you. A big paw is going towards you. What do you do?
Uh, yeah, I think I just sort of sling my sword down, spin it, and just hold it out in the direction of the paw. And you want to swing at me, you're gonna get a pinprick.
Great. Roll melee. Unless you want to argue for a different move, but that
No, that
seems
makes
good.
sense. That's a 6.
That's a 6. That's a crit. So, how do you deal with this cat's paw in the most epic critical way?
Just for my own clarification, I thought a critical was the highest number on your die.
Oh, right. You have a D8, not a
I have a D8.
D6. Sorry, that's my mistake. Yeah. So you did succeed, but it wasn't a crit. Okay. So you were able to stab this metaphysical force through the paw, and the cat, of course, reaches back. Do you hold on to your sword? Are you going with it? What do you do as the paw, this giant paw, retracts?
So this is physical enough that my sword sticks into it.
And it's
Okay.
definitely painful. The cat is reacting in it with pain.
Uh, okay. Well, if I can't pull it out, then I guess I'm going with it.
All right, good. I think that's fun. So this cat is now kind of thwanging the sword that's in the paw, and you were holding on for dear life. Zephyr, this other paw is coming towards you, and the other 3 folks. You see all this happening to your colleagues that you've worked with for a long time. So what do other people do? But Zephyr, I want to hear from you first.
I'd like to say that, I mean, if you poke a normal exceptional cat, it's going to react to that, especially if you're poking against in the paw. Um,
Hmm.
if you'll allow me, there's a wave of power from the cat god.
Hmm.
It's not immediately clear what just happened. Until
Hmm.
Zephyr looks down to consult with the others and suddenly grabs at the branch in fear for his life. He's never been afraid of heights before, ever. But suddenly this is really high.
Okay, so there's fear washing over Zephyr. Are
Yeah.
you trying to avoid falling? Is that like your move, or are you just kind of narrating what Zephyr's reacting to?
Um, yeah, sure. He's trying to avoid falling. He's doing full body bear hug of the branch, but that's not
So I'm
exactly
gonna
something he was
say
planning on doing. So who knows?
let's have you roll muster to see if you can endure the terror and the physical shaking of the branches. And your cat is gone. Remember, you have to roll at a disadvantage. So roll twice and take the lower number for muster.
Okay. For those watching at home, for a muster, successes on a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I am rolling on a d6 with
Hmm.
disadvantage. This is not going to go well.
Hmm. Let's see.
First roll is a 6.
Okay.
Second roll is a 3.
Ah,
Uh,
just
so there
stolen
is
it.
a brief moment as Zephyr starts to fall when he's grabbing at the branch with one hand. Doesn't entirely make sense how he's grabbing the branch. Um, Seems to be like with his fingernails, and then he's falling.
Hmm. Yeah. You're going to fall 16 feet to the ground, and you will take 1 harm. As you land on the ground, unless someone else would like to do something, Naomi, Fee, and Lila, what are we doing?
I
This giant
do.
cat god.
I mean, hmm. Here's the thing. I think Naomi at first was gonna reach and try to get Slayson and not
Mm-hmm.
Slayson. I forgot her character's
Lacin,
name.
Lacin and Slayson.
Slayson. And, I think she's gonna try to get them off the cat paw because that's just one smush and you're done for.
Mm-hmm.
But also now there's a rogue falling from a tree, and
Mm-hmm.
I think Naomi has to
Which
figure out
problem?
which one she feels like saving in the moment.
Don't
Do
worry
me a
about
favor.
me. You know I've slayed bigger.
Do me a favor. Roll me a manipulate. This is sort of alacrity of thought. Let's see if you can make a decision quickly enough.
Okay. With disadvantage.
Yes.
Okay. Rolling low. Okay. That is a 3.
All right, that is a success. So you are able to react in time. Which one are you choosing to react to?
Roll a dice to see which one. The one. The Zephyr.
Okay, so Zephyr is falling. We'll say, how do you want to try to stop Zephyr's fall? If
You know,
you're
in
able
like,
to successfully do this, we'll remove that harm
you
from
know,
Steve.
in Tarzan when they're falling and then they get caught up in the vines.
Mm-hmm.
I think Naomi, without thinking, just like panics and like has a bunch of vines form like ropes underneath Zephyr. It's not going to be a comfortable like save. Like there was no effort to make sure you feel good when this happens. It was just like, oh, that's not supposed to happen.
Great. Roll me manifest at disadvantage.
Okay, we're manifesting.
Yeah.
That's a 2.
That's a 2. That's vibing with some vines. A 2 is a success. So you are able to slow just at the last minute. Zephyr, you're getting kind of wrapped up in these vines, and you can remove that harm. You are successfully saved from this. Big giant cat, still very angry, still has a sword in its paw with a Lacin swinging around. Before we get back to Lacin, Lila, Fee, what are you doing?
I was gonna try and help Zephyr, but he seems helped.
Mm-hmm.
Um, can I like? I don't want to like try and attack a god cat. Um, could I like?
This will be the last roll with disadvantage, by the way. I think this is the fourth one.
Ooh, could I uh try and manipulate? My feat is tell a story. Or no, actually, no. That's the thing I can always do. LOL.
Yeah.
I don't know why I selected that. Thinking
Well,
it
I
was
mean,
feat. I'm just
if
silly.
you want to chat with this cat god and see if you can convince it to stop what it's doing. I mean, it did say something in common in the language that you know, so maybe it can speak your language. Do you want to try and do
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I would like to try and manipulate this god.
Okay, so that should imply some kind of deception, quick thinking. Otherwise, it would be muster if you're just trying to convince. So think about the difference between deception and persuasion, right? So what do you think is manipulative about the way you are speaking to this cat god? Give me a sense of what Lila is thinking.
Just being like, we are not here to cause harm to you, and we'll explore this land in your name, O cat god.
Okay, you'll write songs in this
I
cat
will write
god's name.
songs about this cat god and the land that I have explored in its honor.
Just shouting up to the cat god as
Mm-hmm.
Layson is like holding on for dear life. Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, roll me manipulate disadvantage.
All right. Oh, that's a 1.
Mm-hmm.
I also got a 4, so
Mm-hmm.
unfortunate that disadvantage.
Yeah. Okay, you got a 1. Roll me 2 times and tell me what you get.
Okay, let's try some different dice. Oh, I got 2 4s.
2 4s. Okay. So the wild is going to lash out twice, and everyone's going to take 2 harm as you are trying to convince this cat god that you are going to, we're all going to become your acolytes and we'll, survey the land in your name. Jilly, let's have you pick an idea. What lashes out from the wilds to hurt everybody in this moment?
Well, as it sort of takes me through past my max harm, I'm gonna say that like narratively, Fee is gaining up, clearly like getting ready to cast a spell, and like a tree trunk, like a big tree, just falls and just goes.
Is this your death? Are you narrating your death right now?
I'm actually super. I was gonna say no, but I'm incredibly tempted because think about the movie. There would be 100% someone who just gets wasted at the beginning.
It's pretty like horror comedy vibes for sure. It's very, very funny.
How?
Let me just read this just because I haven't mentioned it yet, and then you can decide, Jilly, because this is for everybody. So once we've kind of accumulated a fair amount of problems, which we're on our way to, I can actually now hear a cat, which is very funny.
That's my cat. I'm gonna
Your
mute myself.
your cat is providing wonderful ambiance for us. Um, as you feel like the story, like your story is ready to end, either because you've accumulated maximum or beyond maximum for your harm. If the wild has more than 10 tokens, which we're pretty close to, we have 3, we have 8, we have 9, so we're pretty close. Or you're just ready to end the story, you can call for a last stand. You're going to get one more luck point, and then you narrate your final move, and then you roll, and then that informs, and you can use the luck point to change it if you want. And then you narrate what happens to you. So it's totally up to you if you want to do this now and end your story, or if you want to keep Fee going. What do you think?
I think this is what happens.
Okay.
I think the tree crashes to the ground on top of Fee.
Hmm.
And I think there's like such a long moment of silence as everybody just kind of like takes that in, and there's
Hmm.
no sound coming from under the tree. And another beat passes, and another beat passes, and
Lila's
then
crying.
Fee's voice comes from across the clearing and goes, I really need a gardener here.
You can't keep doing this. I know you've done this like 50 times in the last 4 years, but it doesn't get
Yesterday,
any less emotional.
So
yesterday
No,
we
but
lost our
like
dear companion Fee.
it's
what?
like I can still hear her
Sometimes I
voice.
can
Yeah, I
still hear
still
her
hear.
voice.
I'm not dead.
So but so are you're effectively saying you're teleported away, so you're not saying you're
I
not calling for a
teleported
last
away.
stand.
I do want to offer another option here, which I thought
Okay.
would be potentially funnier, is if this is how we discover there is an after effect where you can actually die twice here because you come back as a ghost and then your ghost has to die in order for you to die. Now, that may break the mechanics of your game, so we can narratively decide that we skip that phase, but I think it would be really funny to be Ghost Fee haunting them for the rest of this game.
I mean, it's a pretty funny idea, and especially because like Knox just added to it with like it's like we can hear her. Um, it doesn't break the mechanics of the game. I just want to be clear. There are paradoxes built into this game, so you are deciding for yourself what it means. I want you to
So
have the autonomy and the authority over what happens. So you tell me if Fee is so magically powerful that Fee gets crushed, and then Fee's magic spirit is there like a force ghost, and then we have to see what happens to that force ghost to determine your real stuff. Go for it.
So, so I think Lila, what you hear and see is like Fee on the other side of the clearing, but as you like approach her, you can see she's just like a little bit transparent. Like you can see through her.
Hey, Fee, are you like feeling okay? You
Yeah,
look a little.
these boots, they're a little bit tight still. I didn't really wear
No,
them in properly.
I mean like you look see through.
Okay,
You
so
always said I'm very difficult to read.
so as this is happening, as this conversation is happening, remember there are two sets of harm coming to everybody. So this huge tree has fallen on our poor friend Fee. murdering them, her, although she still has some influence on the story. Everyone else is getting hit with branches. Let's imagine the cat god is like thrashing around and the scythe is just cutting all these trees. So they're kind of falling all over the place. If you're not getting crushed by a tree trunk, you're getting hit by branches, slashed. And so all of you are taking this harm. Unfortunately, Zephyr, you are sort of tumbling out of the vines because this thing has been slashed. You're not like crushed, but you are now out of the vines. While all that's going on, and while Lila is having a very strange conversation with Fee.
I do need to spend a luck point to not die.
Okay, so how do you heal yourself?
I think like while in the middle of crying about Fee, Lila gets hit in the head with a branch and is like very nearly like about to die, and then just like grabs the violin and just goes like blink 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 blink, and they like stop bleeding a little bit.
I love it. So as Fee is kind of going, I think my boots are a little tight. As you get more and more translucent, you are just ding 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 to like heal yourself slightly. Layson, you've been thrashing around. You've been knocked into branches. In the action movie sequence, it's like you're in the background, just getting like thrown around. But of course, holding on like an expert physical athlete that you are. What do you do to deal with this problem? Your sword is glowing, is clearly getting kind of angry about this situation. Slayson is not happy.
Yeah, I'm just in the anime that is this ridiculousness. They're having this serious conversation in the background. The cat's just flinging me around all over the place, and in the background you just hear, "Okay, this isn't fun anymore." And I post myself up, my feet up against the palm of this creature, and wait for it to like pull back and go forward a little bit. And I don't want to launch myself off, pull my sword, switch it forward, it glows, and I just want to stab into the center of this thing and banish it.
All right, awesome. Okay. Yeah, let's have you roll melee.
All right.
And this is not a disadvantage.
That's an 8 on the D8. That is my critical.
That is your critical hit.
I'm done with this thing.
So what is your feat? Does it relate to crits, by the way? Do you get luck?
No, it's just the opposite. I have chaotic arcanist.
Right. Okay, so maybe one day. But a critical hit with melee. So you are going to do some basically audacious detail for your heroic attack. And I am going to say that the cat god will dissipate. Maybe not fully gone, but will dissipate in this moment. So what does it look like? What's the epic moment for Layson?
Yeah, so instead of going for the chest, I think it like pulls back to get ready to like slam down, and as its palm is facing forward, I just push off of it, kind of do a spin in the air, and then do the N64 Link like falling down with the sword, and it's just going to glow and sort of create this almost like blue glow meteor effect as I just slice through the top of this semi-translucent cat deity manifestation.
You know what's funny is that as you were describing the blue glow, I don't know why. For some reason, I thought of like a laser, like a cat laser toy thing. So just like it's sort of getting distracted and then just cut in half and just like disappears. There is a second wild lashing out that we haven't dealt with yet. So we've had all these branches falling down, including one that is crushed Fee. But what is the other one? As Layson is doing this epic move, and Lila, excuse me, is just ting 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 away, healing herself. Fee is just kind of standing there, but doesn't really seem to be there. Zephyr or Naomi, what are you doing? And what do you think is happening to the world that is intensifying and lashing out at everybody?
So last time we saw Zephyr, he was falling out of the tree and then being caught by the vines, and then falling out of them when they got chopped apart. He's had the wind kind of knocked out of him for a moment, but he's starting to get back up. He's starting to get back up as Layson and Slayson are taking care of the cat god. There's one more flash of that cat god energy, and as he's looking up and looking over at the others to see what the fuss is about Fee, Anybody who's glancing back his way might notice that just for a moment his eyes are like yellow, like glow in the dark yellow, and then
Mm.
they fade back to regular green.
Okay. Would you be trying to hide this, or is this
I
just
don't think I'm
just
aware of it.
happening? Okay.
I'm not aware of it.
You're not aware of it. Great. So you land, and what do you think, Knox? There have been a lot of problems. Um, we did have magma earlier on the ground. Do you think there's a forest fire happening now, or what else do you think is going on that hurts everybody?
So come on this journey with me. Because I did start a hurricane,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
like screw it, there's magic. The magma gets swept up in a hurricane, and now it's like a fire tornado hurricane.
So you are just maybe getting a little distracted by this giant cat god, especially with these epic move. And so you've been maintaining this spell, you've been concentrating on this spell to like keep this, eye of the storm situation. And then accidentally it's kind of wiggling, you notice Fee is a ghost, force ghost now, and you see this glinting of the eyes. And so you're getting very distracted, and so of course it just dips into the magma and suddenly whoosh, whipping around. Suddenly there is a huge forest fire. uh, I want to hear now from Fee. Where are you at? What are you doing? Do you think you're going to deal with it, not do that? How are you feeling? You might be feeling different. You're muted, my friend.
I'm feeling like a little bit not there,
Mm-hmm.
which is strange. Like, I'm sort of listening to what is happening and seeing what's happening,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of difficult for me to grasp, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, so I think I go to start to do magic, and I don't
Yeah.
know what it does. I don't know if it works or not now that I'm maybe dead.
Well, what are you
Um,
intending to do?
I want to like wrap the fire tornado in a nice little
Mm-hmm.
sphere.
Okay. How big? Like a sphere you can use for anything, or just
No,
kind of
just like,
a little
however
ball?
big it needs to be to get it all in there.
All right, cool. How do you feel about rolling your manifest at disadvantage since you are feeling a little off right now?
Sure. Well, it's not good. So with disadvantage, I rolled a 4, but then I rolled a 2.
Hmm. Well, luckily, a 2 for manifest is still a success. So, even though you're feeling off, how do you deal with this situation? Like, it still works, but like, what is weird about it as you're condensing this tornado and you're going like, ugh, Naomi, you
So
know,
it feels like I'm siphoning off the energy, but I don't think I know where it's going. Like
okay.
sometimes when I can, like when I put out a fire with magic, I can feel the dissipation of the energy, right?
Hmm.
Because energy is neither created nor destroyed.
Right.
I've decided that's a law of magic too. Um,
Apparently.
and so, but I don't know what's happening to it.
Hmm. So it's like disappearing. It's becoming translucent, perhaps, as
Yeah.
well. So everybody, you know, trees catch on fire. A big maelstrom erupts as Naomi's wind gets knocked off course. Then you see Fee with outstretched hands, covered in awesome tattoos that are just getting paler by the second, whip all this fire up into this ball. It looks pretty badass, but then the ball starts to also be a little faded, a little strangely spectral in some way. The forest is still on fire, and there are, branches now, flaming branches now falling on all of you. There is the ruins up in the distance, and also the water, the coastline down below. Quick check in here in terms of time. Remember, you have that last stand move if you think it's your time. but also I was under the impression we'd go until about 10:15, 10:20ish. So how do we feel? Where do we target wise want to end tonight as players?
Oh, I didn't realize we were ending at 10:15. I thought we were going later, or I'd have died earlier. We'll see. I'll die soon. No, I mean, I'll
Yeah,
live.
I
you'll
mean, this is
live.
my first time, so it might be my mistake.
Well, we have a 3-hour slot
Mhm.
so like for me, we would have the extra 45 minutes. But having said that, I did just avoid death. So spoilers, exciting things are gonna happen soon.
Okay, perhaps, yeah.
Either
We can
living or
definitely
dying.
we can definitely feel it out. I just want to check in because we did get started late. Steve, Jack, Knox, anything else to say?
I'm happy going a bit. I generally assume unless I'm told otherwise. 3-4 hours somewhere in there. So
Cool.
another hour is fine.
Jack,
Yeah, works for me.
cool.
I was
Knox?
just asking for pacing purposes.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So, hi. It's me. I'm the problem. I also assumed this is going to be 3 hours. However, we have not had a break. I am fading fast, besties.
So let's say
The
this.
pain is throbbing. The brain is no longer braining.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I do think it would be good to take a break. So how about again, I don't know the process here. First time, y'all. Thank you so much for going on this journey with me. I do want to end before 11, just for my own things, because I did not plan for 3 hours. So let's take. Is it normally break is like 5, 10?
It's
What
10
is good?
15, whichever you pick.
Let's do 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Let's come back at 10. Let's come back at 10:10. We'll just give 13 minutes. And then we will continue with the epic finale of Hero Catastrophe. We have a spectral ball of fire. We have very epic anime moves. We have glinting eyes. We have weeping songs. And apparently some epic things to come for our ghosty fee. Thanks, everybody. We're going to come back at 10:10. Yes, Jilly? Yeah.
No, I'm just waiting to see if because our director is watching the stream, which will be about 30 seconds from when.
Directors, speak to
So basically,
us.
they needed to be ready. I don't know.
Yeah, I put it in the chat, but because of the way that we're doing this, the director is a little bit behind. So whenever you're ready, director, we're gonna go on a break.
Also, we can tag our director in the in
after an epic break to continue and then conclude our dramatic hero catastrophe. Okay. Just to recap where we are right now, and y'all can help me fill this in. Our heroes have been magically transported into this eerie, foggy forest world with these ancient ruins, which seem to be very similar to the ones that they were actually, in just before they got teleported. There's this magic ruler that they accidentally touched, and then, of course, were transported here to this magical wilderness. There's also this coastline on the other side of the forest that is this dark sea that we have not yet explored. We have had the appearance of a cat god of death twice now. First time just came and said that she was going to see you later. Second time, Layson, of course, with an epic anime Link inspired move, bisected. As that happened, Zephyr, our very mysterious rogue, who also apparently is an animal lover, eyes, flickered yellow for some reason. As this cat god was storming around, speaking of storms, as Naomi, Nox's character, was creating this hurricane to sort of protect everybody, tree fell and crushed Fee, our fantastic sardonic sorceress. But then Fee reappeared, but a little less tangible, and cast a spell as unfortunately Naomi's hurricane whipped up some fire and started a huge forest fire. Uh, Fee was able to draw the fire into a ball, but the ball is now translucent. What does that mean? Of course, Lila, our bard, is writing all of this down to make an epic song later, which is going to go platinum, I'm sure, by the end of this. So that's where we're at. There are falling fiery tree branches. The only other thing I forgot to mention, Layson, you're definitely aware. If it's time for a drink, you know where to go. You have smelled your favorite form of alcohol up inside the ancient ruins in a keep that you can see. And the only other thing you know about that keep is that you have heard the mating call of several sky moose, one of which was whipped up in a tornado when y'all were falling. Unfortunately, that one has passed away. But you think these sky moose might be getting into the liquor, so maybe that might be a place to go. But right now, falling branches of fire and a force ghost, maybe Fee, and a glowing half translucent ball of fire. What are we doing? What do we think?
To be clear, I'm still at 0 for the amount of for my harm, right?
So again, harm in this game is abstract. So yes, you take harm, meaning bad things happen to you when we roll poorly on the catastrophe table, but you can accumulate past your maximum harm. So you
Okay.
have 4, you can go to 5, you can go to 10, you can go to 4,000, right? It doesn't matter. It's not like a video game where you're at 0 hit points and you can't move anymore. You've decided not to die in that tree trunk moment, which I think was great. So now we just have this spectral version of Fee. I like the idea of your magic now being spectral or different, but you can still do stuff. Like you're still a full
Okay.
player.
Cool. Thank you for the clarification.
Anybody else? Any clarification? Anything else they want to add? We have a cat on.
Clarification.
Murder
Did you
cat.
say that the moose are horny?
I did say that the moose were horny. They were mating calls. The mating calls of the moose is what I said when Layson.
I think I missed that at the beginning because you just said that. Like, what the? Hi. Yes.
What are the current threats on the screen at the moment?
Falling branches, falling burning branches. Okay, that's the first one. Because while Fee was able to get rid of the fire that was, actively spreading, there's still fire on the branches that are falling down. The cat god disappeared, right? But there is also the storm at the edges of this eye that Naomi made. So if you're going to travel outside of that sphere, there's threat there, hail, wind, etc. And then, of course, the horny moose appears to
Can't
potentially be
forget
a
about the
threat.
horny moose.
Yeah, you certainly hear those is how they're going to sound off in the
Great.
distance. And you too now can smell this alcohol. So if y'all have had a bad day, just saying, it's a potential option for you. But right now, you're dealing with some burning branches. If you don't make a move soon, you're all going to take one harm from the fire. So what would you like to do?
I mean, we should probably go to the temple. I'm still really worried about Fee, but like we should probably get inside because there's fire everywhere.
Would you say that you are trying to muster the group to follow you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go for it. Roll me muster.
We
Let's
can't do
try.
that, right? That is literally
So
impossible
I
for us
it
to
literally
do.
is
can't muster.
literally impossible, but you have luck points.
No, I don't. I'm out of luck points.
Then you are gonna automatically fail if you want to
I
do
do
this.
have inspiring performer. I didn't read what my feat does.
Okay.
Wait, I have that open. I had that open in a
Someone tell
past
me what
life.
that does.
So when you have the so for folks at home, you get to pick a feat, which is like your special skill, right, in this game. Inspiring performer is when you crit, you add 1 luck point when you roll muster or manifest. So that will you will generate a luck point if you roll muster and crit, which means you could spend it to make it succeed.
You
So
have
it's
to
Well,
kind of a
roll a
risky
4.
move.
I
Just
mean,
got to
I've
roll a
got
4.
nothing else to do but
And you're
try and convince
inspiring. This is your
everyone to be
moment.
inside. Yeah.
Come on, Lila.
That's a 1!
That's a 1. Well,
Hey.
you're generating more conflict for the story. So thank you,
Heck
Lila,
yeah.
for I'm gonna have Jack, since you have a D8, roll me the D8 twice for the chaos roll.
That is a 5
Okay,
and a 3.
great. So we get to interpret this, and then there's a little mechanical tag on it. So Lila is getting, we gotta go, we gotta get out of here, we gotta get into the keep. Something unexpected happens instead. So Lila is trying to inspire everyone to follow her and go in the direction of this keep, and something unexpected happens instead. The prompt is, how does this impact your fate? Either you take 1 additional harm or you take disadvantage on your next move. You're gonna have to keep track of this because there's 5 of you. I'm not gonna remember, but you get to choose 1 more harm or disadvantage, whatever you think more thematically is fun. And then another frightened being is going to attack. I think some sky moose are going to be rumbling from the distance. They're actually coming out of the ocean on the rocky coastline, and they're floating and hopping up, going through the storm that Naomi is holding back. Okay, so roll me that D8 one more time, Jack, if you can, please.
It's a 6.
Okay, 6 moves before these moose do 6 harm to all of you. What do we do?
Good.
Okay. I have the option to make this very anticlimactic, but I'm not going to.
Keep in mind your
So
last stands, everybody.
yeah, I think that in front of these things, I first of all, I turn to Lila and I say, "You don't have to worry about me." And then I'm gonna take my last stand.
Okay, so you get 1 more luck point, and what's your final move?
My final move is I'm going to take the sphere that has this weird transparent energy,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna swing it around and plant it in the middle of these creatures that are coming towards us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna just kind of plant and release it there. And I feel like as the energy of that expands to hopefully do something,
Mm-hmm.
you see the image of Fee just fade out.
Okay, so you're dropping a firebomb in the middle of these moose, a ghost firebomb. Are you choosing to take 1 harm, or are you choosing this move to be at disadvantage?
I'm choosing to take 1 harm.
Great. Okay. So you're definitely being obliterated by this. You're putting all of your ghost energy into throwing this bomb. It's going to be melee because you're trying to do damage. So roll melee and let's see what happens. Last move.
Okay. So I rolled a 3, but I have I've only used 1 luck, and I think I have 3 as a mage.
Yeah. So you can spend, and you got 1 from the last stand. So you're going to make it a
Yeah.
success.
I'm gonna make it a success.
So tell me again, narrate these last moments of Fee and specifically what Lila sees. Feels like Lila is the most attached to you. I don't know what
I'm trying not to
Zephyr,
make this too. I
Layson,
don't feel so well, Mr. Stark. Um,
but
Good.
Lila,
and yet,
remember me.
um, no, I think it's just like it's even exasperated. It's like, Lila, you know you don't have to worry about me.
mhm,
And then I just kind of swing it, and it probably looks really impressive in the swinging around and like planting this thing. And then you see her eyes just go a little bit wider than normal, and then whoosh.
just off, just gone. And
And
I'm gonna
Lila's just
say,
like, oh my god, oh my god.
and then the the bomb, the ghost bomb goes off, and it's kind of like in Star Wars: The Last Jedi, where like suddenly it just goes white, and there's like that outline of the moose, and just this white, and then just like boof, no more moose. Uh, Parts of moose are falling from the sky, but they are gone. Just checking in, Jack. You having audio issues? You okay? Can you hear us?
Uh, there's something going on. I know we're coming close to the end, but I gotta step away for a second.
Okay. Yeah. You're heading off towards the alcohol. Go for it. All right. Zephyr, you've seen this epic bomb go off. These horny moose are flying everywhere. Um, the cat is still gone. You've landed strangely gracefully as you've fallen from these branches, but there are still branches that are burning falling on you. Lila was trying to get everyone to go, um, but unfortunately, something unexpected happened instead. What do you think unexpectedly happened instead, apart from Fee exploding?
Oh, okay. Um, so we're starting to get ourselves moving in the general direction of the smell of
Seem-
lovely beverages.
Mhm,
Um, and the explosion happens, and moose bits.
mhm.
Um, Hopefully by then we have gotten out of the actual burning area. Um,
Well, what are you doing to get out of the burning area? Are you like dodging and weaving and climbing? Like what is it? What do you think?
um, okay, it sounds like it's a little more um, lively of a fire than I was picturing. Um,
It's still a threat, so it'll
yeah,
burn you if you don't deal with it.
okay. So yeah, we said earlier that part of part of being a very nimble rogue is spatial awareness.
Mhm.
So don't step there, do step there. Over there is a little bit safer, leading the group,
As
uh, the
as as
remaining part of the group through the fire
as
zone.
as Lila is just playing the saddest dirge on her violin for dear departed
Yes.
Fee. We get this slow motion shot of Zephyr just booking it through this burning forest and is like dodging and weaving. Let's see how well that goes. Roll manipulate. Did you take a harm or did you take disadvantage?
Um, okay, so a point of luck restores 1 HP or restores everything, or how does that healing
Just one. Just one.
one? Okay. Um,
But this is sort of like whose lines then anyway. The points don't matter and the score is
mhm,
made up. So you decide what you want to do ultimately.
yeah. So technically, I'm currently at 1 hit point. Um,
Hmm.
I'm going to take 1 HP of harm and use up a luck to keep myself here.
Great.
Um,
So then you're gonna
um,
roll manipulate, and we'll see
yeah.
how this dodge through the burning woods goes for you as you just like huff some smelling salts real quick. Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Steve,
so
tell me
I
what it
was
is.
just about to say out loud, something about 9 lives.
Mhm.
The one.
Yeah. Yeah, that cat that was attacking Nox on our break is, fate attacking you, perhaps. Y'all on the Twitch, you did not see Nox's cat just went berserk on her. It was pretty freaking funny.
I
Okay.
need y'all to know Jilly messaged the campaign, the IGM that she's in with a bunch of other people, Honors of Dice, and she messaged them going, "Oh, Hazel almost killed Nox. I wish you could have seen it."
I said we
Good.
almost got it live on Twitch, which is
You
accurate.
know you bet
I
you
have
wish they
seen
could
it
have seen it.
before.
Well, we're gonna see what we see instead. This is gonna be potentially bad, so I'm gonna roll. Okay. Okay. So, funnily enough, this is perfect. The wild becomes unbearable. I rolled a 2. Seek shelter. Describe what is happening. Everyone's next move is at disadvantage, and everyone takes 1 additional harm. Okay. So, of course, Layson booking it gets kind of thwacked by some burning branch. The sword, scatters onto the ground as he's lying there unconscious. So we'll have to deal with his body. Zephyr, as you're dodging and weaving, you just land the perfect foot to slide into a root and just go head over heels and smack your face into the ground. Uh, Fee is disappeared, diffuse amongst the rest of us. No energy is created or destroyed. You're somewhere, Fee, but you're not here. Lila, what happens to you as this fire erupts as Zephyr is trying to get out of the way and fails? No one's listened to
Um,
you.
I think Lila's very sadly playing the violin, and
Right.
I, the violin catches on fire, and then she catches on fire,
Oh
and I'm
no.
making my last stand.
Okay, get one more luck point. I do
Heck yeah.
imagine that the epic music that you've been playing, this beautiful violin music, once Zephyr trips is like the first breaking of one of the strings as it catches fire. It's
Mhm.
like we actually live record a burning violin and get what that would sound like, and that's how the song goes. All right, so you get one luck point. What's your last move? How are you dealing with your now running on fire to get out of the way?
Who's still alive?
Currently, Layson is unconscious but alive on the ground. Zephyr is alive but face planted. We don't know what Naomi's up to, but Naomi is alive and you are alive, allegedly.
Um, I would like to use my burning magic wand of my bow
Hmm.
to try and put out some
Hmm.
fire around me and my
Okay.
friends.
So just kind of like a splash, see how many people you can get kind of situation to protect them.
Yeah,
Great. Heroic move
while crying.
while crying, of course. I would be crying if I were set on fire.
Yeah.
Let's roll manifest for this.
All right, here we go. That's a 4.
That's a 4. That's a crit. So you're going to reveal your fate, but describe to me this epic, audacious detail, world-shaping, extraordinary effect is what I wrote of you spraying all this water out of your burning violin and your burning body.
Self. Yeah.
What happened?
Shockingly, my fate is that I must die. I
What?
bet no one saw that coming
I'm
because I'm
shocked.
really good at hiding things and never give anything away.
Uh huh.
It's the tism. Anyway,
But
so
you have the best poker face.
I as
Poker face.
truly well, so that uh I think what happens is that like our weepy bard who just loves all of her friends so much and has had such a good time traveling with them is crying so much, and as she's making this spell that would just normally sort of like a hose, spray water all over stuff. Her tears like end up mingling in with the magic, and it's like a downpour of rain in the area as she dies.
This magic tears as the last note of this violin as it crumples and blackens as you fall to the ground. Um, too overcome by your burns, getting hit with branches, you deluge
Falling out
everything.
of the sky almost killed me.
Yeah, the water's heavy. You forgot to account for the water being heavy itself, so you just get poof, drowned in your own magic and tears, but saving potentially your friends. I'm gonna say your bag is waterproof enough that there are some of your notes that kind of like fall out of your bag. I'm gonna say that that
Hooray.
is there. So Naomi, uh, hurricane kind of not working out now. You did create a firestorm. Now there's been a giant downpour. You are wet. You are a natural disaster. And you see Lila's lifeless body. You know Fee's been exploded. You can see all the horny moose parts everywhere. Zephyr is also just face planted, and Layson seems to be out of commission. And you know you need to get to safety because the wild is also lashing out. This was the second of the two rolls for the one. So how is the wild lashing out, and how are you going to seek shelter?
Oh, so many. Okay, first of all, Hazel, I love you. Stop scratching the wall. Okay. Sorry. I have to tell my cat to let me live. Um,
The
how is
cat
the
has
wild?
the cat was fictionally in our story and then disappeared and then appeared in your background and
Okay,
is now
so
messing with you.
actually though, because my cat is a chaos gremlin, I write cats into every into almost every campaign or one shot that I'm in, including the ones I GM.
Mhm.
I will write my cat in because I don't know if you can hear her because of that.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, you can hear her. Can you fucking not?
There's just this saying in live theater that like you can't put an animal on stage because they're always way more interesting than any of the people, like because they're just doing things, and just like whenever they're doing things, that's more
Oh,
important.
everybody's here for the cat, not for me.
Yeah, we're here for
I
the
know
cat,
this. It's fine.
but use it as inspiration, Naomi.
Yeah,
So, what is lashing out of the wild as everyone is face planting and drowning and exploding?
a giant cat.
Okay,
Well,
is
I think
this
a giant cat climbs up Naomi's back.
okay? And is this like the death god, or is this a different kind of giant cat?
This is just a cat. That's the
Okay.
thing is that all cats have this innate, deep inside of their kitty souls. They just have this innate desire to mess you up,
Hmm.
and they will act
Also
on it.
pretty freaking pissed about the water situation, I'm sure, getting deluged on. And so
Absolute.
this panther-sized cat, which might be the cat that was Mason's but then disappeared and now there's a giant version of it, or it's just a different cat. We don't know. We're in the middle of chaos. Is leaping and stabbing into you. You and Zephyr are going to take one additional harm, and both Naomi and Zephyr, tell me what you're doing about this situation.
I would like to spray the cat with water.
Okay, so you're are you gonna like manifest more water? You're gonna try to use the deluge somehow? What does that look like?
You know what? Manifesting does great things for us. So
Hmm.
let's just keep manifesting, you know?
Keep manifesting. And just to be clear, this is not your last stand. You're doing fine. You're just gonna keep going.
I'm at 6 harm, but I'm hanging in there by a thread.
Great. Naomi is a natural disaster, truly, but is still
Truly,
disaster.
truly, a true natural disaster is on their last leg. Is like, yeah, you, I got this.
So what'd you roll? Manifest.
Oh yeah, rolling things in the
Oh,
dice game.
it's at disadvantage.
God damn it. Okay, I got a 3 at disadvantage.
Great. That is a success for
I
manifest.
I have
So do you
nothing.
just just like fire hose this cat away from you? Like what happens?
Yeah, I think Naomi, tired, in pain. She
Mhm.
sees like two people have died, and she's like, "Nope, that kind of might be my fault for causing storms." Um, she's like, "My bad. Naomi now has a body count." So she just like frustrated, like this is not. We had a plan. Just turn and like does that like sound you do when you're mad at your cat,
Mhm.
and puts her fingers like finger guns and just goes, and water comes out of them at the cat.
I love that. I'm also realizing, yeah, this was your one last job. It was so simple. Like everything was supposed now your colleagues are dead. Like this is not a
We
great
had
last day
one
at the
job.
office.
We had a plan. We were supposed to go over the plan. Then they spring the mason on us and his cat, and like everything would have been fine if we had gone according to plan. But no, technically, did I cause the things that killed Fee and Lila? It's not my
Who could
fault.
say?
If
Who could
if
say?
we had stuck to the plan, they would. It's not my fault. It might be my fault a
Uh
little bit. Well, you know what? We're gonna pack that deep inside, and we'll unpack that later.
yeah. Quick point for both Tori and Jilly. You can still comment and add ideas. You know, you're still helping us tell the story, even though your characters are done. Do feel free to add thoughts as well. Just to be clear, you don't have to be silent.
Oh, I think
But
they're doing just fine all by
it's
themselves.
true, and it's good to have some
Yeah, this
focus.
is going great.
But just in case, you know, if you want to add something. Now, Steve, Zephyr sees this cat that is being, you know, fire hosed away from Naomi doing the finger guns, and is being blasted towards you. What are you doing? How are you dealing with tripping and your epic thing, fire all around you? Well, I guess now the fire's probably out from all the deluge because I do want to give the crit to Tori. So fire's gone, but there's now a big wet cat being thrown at you. What do you do?
Um, so so I've gone down. I'm covered in mud. I'm wiping it out of my eyes. Um, One of the recent catastrophes was the wild becomes unbearable.
Yeah.
The fire I could kind of deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Having this torrential rain pouring on me, it's never bothered me before, but suddenly it is very uncomfortable. Um,
Ugh.
and I'm staring at this soaking wet cat out there, um, trying to work up my nerve to attack and try and drive it
It's
off
attack.
before it dive
It's
bombs
attacking
my
Knox
party
right
member
now.
again.
It's attacking Knox right now. This
Yes.
is
He
hilarious.
just let out a scream. It was so
And Steve,
Okay.
what are
All
you
right.
doing?
I will take the suggestion. Um, I'm going to very carefully, using the roots and the trunks of the trees and such, sort of like a jungle gym, sneak around behind it to attack from the rear, because obviously that is a very successful thing this evening.
Very
Uh,
successful. So let's say you have a move at disadvantage, which makes sense. So you're it's a muddy. So roll
yep.
manipulate at disadvantage and then melee normal.
Okay, hang on. So manipulate. I don't have to roll again. That's a
I
one on
think
manipulate. My
I
my
think
foot
you're
slides in the mud and I go back down again.
a majority of the ones have come from you. I just want to note that on a D6. That is fantastic, Steve. Thank you for giving us such wonderful storytelling.
Well,
Um, okay, so I'm gonna roll since we're at that point and we're almost at time. Okay. Ah, cool. So, your food supply is compromised. We haven't really talked about food, but I'm going to interpret this as you all hear in the distance just a giant crash and like a bunch of drunk moose, like all lowing in the distance. So, all of that alcohol, like now there's an explosion of smell. And that smell, suddenly your senses are getting really active, right? Like you can smell just much more strongly, even in the mud, even in the water, and so it just like as you're trying to sneak up on this cat, this giant panther-like cat, you slip and you land on the back side of the cat. Like your head hits the back side of the cat. And then the other one says death appears. What happens? So what do you think? Is this your last stand moment? Is this something else?
I think my cat just tried to kill me.
The cat is acting out the story for us. Unfortunately, Knox, you're just the only one there for the cat to act it out on. So it
I
should be
legitimately
Steve.
was like, I'm not gonna get back in this shit.
Okay, yeah. So I'm trying to get my feet back under me, while this wildcat is turning around, and if domestic cats are any indication, touching them on the back without permission does not go
Not
over
good.
very well.
No.
Um, and as I'm trying to get myself in a position to defend myself, um, the feline grim reaper appears in the distance again. Um,
Mm.
it can't help but draw your attention for a moment. And when you look
Mhm.
back, there are two panthers facing off against each other. Um, and even if one of them wins, you're not sure which one is which. Um,
Ooh.
so
Now,
I technically am going to live,
uh-huh.
but not as I was.
Really interesting. Okay, so you don't even want to do a last move to complicate this. You just want to end with you like the cat god appears. I guess Naomi's the only character left conscious, so looks, and then suddenly there are two cats battling it out instead of one.
Yeah.
That's good. Great.
Yeah, I
Um,
think I'm not gonna roll for it because I like the idea that whether I succeeded or failed, one of the
Still what's
cats is
gonna
gonna come
happen.
out on top, and we don't know which one.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, so these two muddy black cats. Um, and
Speaking of black
oh,
cat,
there you are. There you are. Um,
Oh, so your cat, your
it's
cat
just
will love
sweet and
me
lovely.
out.
This
My
cat
cat,
is not a murderer, is the difference.
my cat
oh, she
is
wants you to think
punishing me
that.
for
Persephone
crimes
is
I have
still
not.
screaming for snacks outside the door. So
Mine is
Well,
punishing me for crimes I have not done.
we're gonna get to the end of our story in a second because this cat god steps over the two panthers that are locked in battle, and is now standing in this muddy, burnt, steaming forest with a bunch of horny moose lowing in the distance. A hailstorm still going on. Naomi, your hurricane eye is flickering even more and more. You're standing there covered in mud, and this cat god is facing you. And this cat god says, "Are you ready to go, my pretty? You're almost the last one." And then just casually chops Lason's head off with the scythe. I don't know what Lason's fate was actually going to be, but now it's dead.
I think that's perfect. Sorry, Jack.
And the
Jace,
Slason like
Layson has been slayed.
Layson has been Slayson. The sword kind of like rattles and glows and then like just falls inert and actually kind of like bends and rusts, and like really what was keeping it alive was Layson. So now Layson and Slayson are both dead. Naomi, you're staring down this cat god of death in this huge chaotic world that is trying to kill you, has killed all your colleagues. Um, Maybe Mason's cat is out there. You don't know. Other cats rolling around, moose in the distance, a dead Lila with her notes, uh, vanished Fee, decapitated Layson. What do you do?
Can I be allowed one more cuss word?
Of course.
Can I just have a one more cuss, please? Thank you.
Mhm.
Um,
I bequeath
I
it
want
to
to
you.
tell the I want to tell the cat, God, go fuck yourself and spray it with
Mhm.
water. I'm the final girl. Oh, okay, cuss one more time.
Yeah.
I'm the final girl, bitches.
Naomi, roll me melee. Is
You
this your
can't
last
kill
stand?
what's already dead.
This is your last stand then. So get a luck point, and then
Okay.
roll melee.
Is this a disadvantage?
It is.
Come on. All right, come on. Come on. Come on.
You got
Come on.
this. You got this.
That's a 2.
Uh huh. And a 2 is a failure. You have a luck point though. Do you want to turn it into a success? And
Yes,
what is
I
your
do.
like you describe your last moment. Like, so what happens to Naomi face down against the cat god, just chopped off your colleague's head, and then you're saying, fuck you, I'm the last bitch around. Splash.
Yeah.
What happens?
I think Naomi's out of it at this point. She's had a day.
Mm-hmm.
And as she goes to do that, she trips over a root and falls into a puddle. And as
Mm-hmm.
that happened, a wave goes over her and just like Squirtle, or not Squirtle. I'm tired. I swear I know my Pokemon. The one with the cannon, water cannon on the back.
Blastoise.
Blastoise.
Mm-hmm.
Just full on the cat god of death.
So you kill death.
Yes, I want to be the new day. This is
So this cat god, which has been around for thousands of years, clearly been worshipped by this ancient civilization that has all these ruins, has this mirror dimension where it punishes those that touch its magic ruler. I don't know, I guess. Staring down this druid, this natural disaster druid. Um, and this cat god has never been threatened, has never had any problems, can materialize, disappear, reappear, was enjoying seeing Fee explode, liked transforming Zephyr into a panther, maybe, loved Lila causing this deluge with her tears. That was a nice touch. Layson, pretty easy, seems kind of like a chill guy, no big deal. And as this cat god is looking at you, I don't think this cat god realizes how much history Naomi has with cats. And this fated, just like shuddering natural disaster power, you're drawing the power from the catastrophe dimension into your final wave, rolls over you like it comes out of the sea. And this cat god is just tugged out, drowning out into the ocean. As this cat gets pulled, you grab the scythe, stand uh, over those ruins, and you indeed are now the new god of death in this realm. And with that, I think we are going to end our hero catastrophe.
Incredible.
Uh, wow, what a fun way to end the story, especially as Nox gets terrorized by your cat.
it's
Uh,
a consolation prize for the fact that, oh my god. No, say that out loud. Say that out loud.
Steve was writing something
Just
like that.
saying, your powers are bigger on the inside.
Of course. Before we pop off, I do want to give everyone a chance again to let people know where they can follow you and the cool projects that you're up to. I'll end with a little thing that I want to say, and then we'll take the outro out. And again, thank you so much for watching Hero Catastrophe. Let's start with who we ended with, Nox. Just because I know the focus is leaving your body already.
It's gone.
Tell me, okay, you're talked about this campaign you're working on. Tell me anything you want, and how people can follow you.
Oh, cool. Okay. Hi, my name is Nox Kiros. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I was Naomi, your new goddess of death. Bow down. Okay. You can find me on social media at Nocturnal_7. This Friday,
Mm-hmm.
at a time, Eastern Standard Time. I think it's 9 o'clock. That's what Twitter's
They'll
for.
Yeah, they'll find that on
Um,
Twitter.
you can find me on twitch.tv/Pluto Cleric. I'll be in a Masks one shot. Um, our bosses have left us in charge of New York, and we don't know what we're doing. So this is going to be great. With some really
Great.
cool people. I'm excited to be there. On Monday, you can find me at my friend Synthetic 20's channel because Sin has created a system called Queensgate, and we are going to be in Queensgate Chronicles starting that campaign on Monday. they're like, hey, do you want to help build the world? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then they're like, hey, do you want to actually be in the campaign? I'm like, yeah, sure. So my character is Layla. She has life and death magic and trauma and a tea shop. So I'm very excited for her.
Great.
Um, and Tuesday, I have so much stuff. Tuesday, I'm going to be back on Pluto Cleric's channel for a Monster of the Week campaign called Death Comes Easy, Death Was Easy, Death Something Easy. Again at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just got to add this campaign, so I don't know what, I can't tell you anything about it other than it's Monster of the Week and I'm in it. But I'll
Great.
be there. And then
Not
Wednesday,
you're the one-stop shop for death, apparently. You've become the death
I
god.
am.
All the
I
different
am
campaigns are in death.
deaf now.
Perfect. Thank you
I,
so much. Jilly, what about you? Where can we find you? Anything you want to
You
say
can
about what
find
you're
me
working on?
at Oh Look It's Jilly most places on the internet where I talk about editing and acting and lots of classical theater, which is all I seem to do nowadays. I've
Oh yeah.
taken a brief hiatus from streaming for the last like months, and it was really like delicious and sleepy. Um, Pretty soon, the Masks campaign on this channel will be coming back. We announced there's a season 2 of that, so I think I can talk about the fact that that's coming up.
we'll
We
do it
definitely
anyways.
said
It's
it on
fine.
stream
Don't get mad at
before.
us.
I've definitely talked about it, so oops if I wasn't supposed to do that.
I'm
Where I play
definitely
Violet, the reformed supervillain,
Oh,
um, who had to get into her old getup and maybe be evil again at the end of last season. So it was pretty fun. I'm also in a it's called Ready Set Bake, the game campaign on the Exquisite Corpse Presents. We're on hiatus right now, but we will be finishing that up soonish.
hmm.
So I play a sweet retired librarian named Muriel who is in Kel's Kitchen, our reality show. Um, and it's a great time. But come find more info on the internet. The end.
Hopefully y'all can access the internet, given that you are currently watching
We
this.
can but
Uh,
hope.
Steve, our tallest of halflings, tell us about where we can find you and what you're working on.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Steve. Tall Halfling on most of the socials. Tall Halfling RPG on Threads. Um, and this evening, I've been playing Zephyr, whose heroic silhouette is Cat Burglar. Uh, yes, I've been sitting on that pun for a while.
I love
Um,
it. So glad we got it.
Recently, I've mostly been playing one shots. So I've been on Lost Caravan a whole bunch in the last month or so, but who knows where I'm going to be next. Um, and when I'm not playing on stream, I do podcast editing and video production work for uh, ideally for actual play shows as well. So
Cool. Thank you so much. Look forward to hearing more about it. Tori, last but not least.
Yes, hello. My name is Tori. I have been and will be that nerd Tori everywhere, all over the internet. You will catch me on other streams at some point. I don't have anything nailed down yet. Hopefully, I'll also eventually start streaming on my channel soon. I promise. I will play more Cult of the Lamb probably. Um, and then you'll also catch me at PAX at the end of March. If you are going to PAX East, I'll be there with Gehenna Gaming. And it'll be a rad time. So if you're in the area, you should come. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tori. And where can we find you on the internets?
Oh, all over the internet, I am that
That
nerd
nerd
Tory.
Tori.
So on the Twitter site, on the Blue Sky, on the Instagram, on the literally everywhere.
Cool. Thank you so much. Fortunately, we don't have Jack, but we can certainly send that in a tweet follow up about where you can find Jack. And again, I'm Mark. I made this game called Hero Catastrophe. It was a Zine Quest first game I've ever made. I had a blast with y'all tonight. Thank you so much for playing with me and giving your very precious time, especially with all the other projects you're doing. I really appreciate it. I had a really good time. I am at Echo Located on all of the socials. and that includes my website, echolocated.com, where if you want to purchase a copy of this game, you can. And it's also where I'm previewing my podcast I'm in the middle of working on. It's called Humble Step. It's using the campaign setting of Humble Wood for 5e from Hit Point Press as a starting off point. And it's kind of like a picaresque. These animal folk are not heroes. They get into a lot of problems. But similarly, a world is on fire and they're trying to survive. So please check it out when you can. All right, director, wonderful friend. I believe it's time for us to go. I'm just going to do one more thing, which is read our outro. I want you to join us on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, not Pacific, but Eastern, for a new Monster of the Week campaign with an all-black cast. That's awesome. And Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern for Apocalypse Keys, which is going to be freaking cool. Check out YouTube for more adventures from Nerds with Dice. And if you have a story you wish to tell or a game you wish to showcase, our Creators app is always open and can be found on Twitter and Blue Sky, or ask us for the link in our Discord. And that's what I did to get this game here. So you can be just like me. That's all I have tonight. And we will take it away whenever you are ready, my fearless director friend. Thank you so much, everybody. Goodbye.
No doubt.